Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to talk about the prokaryotic cellular components, and we'll start with the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the substance that is present inside the plasma membrane. It is thick, aqueous, semi-transparent and elastic. There is about 80% water, and along with water it contains proteins in the form of enzymes, carbohydrates, lipids, inorganic ions and many other molecular compounds. The major structure of the cytoplasm of a prokaryote are nucleoid containing DNA, ribosomes and reserve deposits called inclusions. Nucleoid. The nucleoid of a bacteria is usually a single long continuous thread of double-stranded DNA called the bacterial chromosome. It is the cell's genetic information carrying the information for the structure and function of a cell. The nucleoid may be spherical, elongated or dumbbell-shaped. The proteins in the plasma membrane are believed to be responsible for replication of the DNA and segregation of new chromosomes to daughter cell during cell division. The plasmid, in addition to chromosome, the bacteria often contain a circular double-stranded DNA molecule called plasmids. These plasmids are extra chromosomal genetic elements. They are separate from the chromosome and they replicate independently of the chromosomal DNA. There are about 5 to 100 genes that may be present in a plasmid, but they are not important, they are not crucial for the survival of a bacterium under normal environmental condition. If a bacterium contains certain extra genes in its plasmid, it will have the extra characters, maybe a character for antibiotic resistance or tolerance to toxic metals or production of toxins or certain enzymes, synthesis of enzymes. So it will have the extra ability, but if it loses those genes, then those genes are not important for its survival. It can still survive because it will still have the chromosome. The bacteria may gain or lose plasmid without any harm to the cell. The plasmids can be transferred from one bacterium to another. Here you can see the chromosome and the plasmid DNA that is separate. The ribosomes. All eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells contain ribosomes for protein synthesis. The ribosomes are composed of two subunits. And each subunit consists of proteins and ribosomal RNA. The prokaryotic ribosomes are called 70S ribosomes and those of eukaryotic cells are called 80S ribosomes. The letter S refers to the Swedberg units. It is a measurement unit measuring the rate of sedimentation of the ribosome during ultra high speed centrifugation. Like all measuring units, this is also a simple measurement unit for measuring the sedimentation rate of the ribosome. Sedimentation rate is a function of the size, weight and shape of a particle. The 70S ribosome consists of two subunits. The smaller subunit is a 30S subunit and the larger one a 50S subunit. So that means that the smaller subunit has a sedimentation coefficient of 30S. Its rate of sedimentation during ultra high speed centrifugation, the rate of sedimentation is 30, and for the larger subunit the sedimentation coefficient comes out to be 50, while the whole ribosome, for the whole ribosome the sedimentation coefficient is 70. Remember that this is not addition, we're not adding it. This is a sedimentation rate. So while the whole ribosome sediments at a rate of 70S, these subunits separately sediment at rates of 30S and 50S. When they join together to make up a whole ribosome, their size, depending upon their size and depending upon their shape, they make up shape such that the sedimentation rate becomes 70S. There are certain antibiotics like streptomycin and gentamicin which bind to the 30S ribosomal subunit, while there are other antibiotics like erythromycin and chloramphenicol which binds to the 50S ribosomal subunit. And by binding to these ribosomal subunit, they interfere with protein synthesis, and since they interfere protein synthesis, they are called protein synthesis inhibitors. Then we have the inclusion bodies. In the cytoplasm of the prokaryotes, there are certain reserve deposits known as inclusion bodies. These inclusion bodies are there for storage of certain important compounds like maybe carbon, inorganic substances, or energy. The bacteria accumulate these nutrients from an environment where they may be plentiful. ऐसे environment में जहाँ बैक्टीरिया के सराउंडिंग में कोई न्यूट्रिएंट, कोई स्पेसिफिक न्यूट्रिएंट ज़्यादा अमाउंट में हो तो वो उसको अपने बॉडी में स्टोर करता जाता है, जिसके लिए उसके पास स्टोरेज बॉडीज़ मौजूद होती हैं, ताकि जब भी कभी उस न्यूट्रिएंट की ज़रूरत बैक्टीरिया को पड़े तो वो उसको इस्तेमाल कर सके. The first storage body that we're going to talk about is the metachromatic granule. The metachromatic granules have their name because of the phenomenon of metachromasia. Metachromasia एक ऐसा phenomenon है जिसमें हम ये देखते हैं कि कोई चीज़ को जब किसी एक colored substance से stain किया जाए तो वो दिखते, after staining they appear different. Like here the metachromatic granules, when they are stained with blue colored dyes, methylene blue, जब हम इनको blue color dye methylene blue से stain करते हैं तो उनको blue color का दिखना चाहिए, but they appear red. Such a phenomenon is called metachromasia, and because of this they are called metachromatic granules. These metachromatic granules are also called volutin granules. These granules, they are storage bodies for inorganic phosphate. ये inorganic phosphate store करते हैं so that they can use that phosphate for the synthesis of nucleic acid or for ATP. जब फॉस्फेट रिच एनवायरनमेंट में बैक्टीरिया होता है तो वो उस फॉस्फेट को अपने इन वॉलेटिन ग्रेन्यूल्स में स्टोर करता जाता है, क्योंकि एटीपी की ज़रूरत हर वक्त रहती है, एनर्जी की ज़रूरत रहती है, न्यूक्लिक एसिड की सिंथेसिस के लिए बैक्टीरिया को चाहिए, सो इट इज़ गोइंग टू नीड द फॉस्फेट. देयर आर सर्टन माइक्रोब्स लाइक द आर्किया methanosarcina, then the bacterium Corynebacterium diphtheria, or the eukaryotic alga like Chlamydomonas, which contains these volutin granules. Carbon storage. Carbon is the most common substance to be stored by cells, since all cells are carbon based. These carbon storage bodies that are present in the bacteria, there are two types of these carbon storage bodies. The polysaccharide granules, the first one are the polysaccharide granules. These polysaccharide granules, they consist of glycogen and starch. They store glycogen and starch, and they can be identified by the presence of iodine. When stained with iodine, the glycogen granules appear reddish brown, while the starch granules appear blue. Then there are lipid inclusions. The carbon storage bodies are polysaccharide granules and also lipid inclusions. These lipid inclusions, they contain storage bodies called poly-beta hydroxybutyrate, and they may be present in bacteria like Mycobacterium, Bacillus, Zotobacter, Spirillum, and other genera. These lipid inclusion bodies can be identified by staining them with Sudan dyes. Sulfur granules. There are certain bacteria that are called sulfur bacteria belonging to the genus Acidothiobacillus. These sulfur bacteria, they obtain energy, they derive energy by oxidizing sulfur and sulfur containing compounds. They store sulfur when the cell oxidizes hydrogen sulfide to elemental sulfur, resulting in the formation of refractile inclusions. Gas vacuoles. Gas vacuoles are found in aquatic prokaryotes, including cyanobacteria, anoxygenic photosynthetic bacteria, and halobacteria. These gas vacuoles are there for buoyancy. Buoyancy का मतलब है कि to float in water at a specific on the surface, to float easily. कोई specific height पे जब water में कोई चीज़ float करती है उसको कहते हैं buoyancy. बैक्टीरिया के पास ये गैस वैक्यूल्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं ताकि वो आराम से उस हाइट पे फ्लोट कर सके, सरफेस ऑफ वाटर पे फ्लोट कर सके, so that it can receive sufficient amount of oxygen, light and nutrients. These vacuoles, they are made up of hollow cylinders covered by proteins, and these cylinders are permeable to gases by passive diffusion, and they have the ability to construct or collapse these gas vacuoles whenever the bacteria need to ascend or descend. Then we have the magnetosomes. Magnetosomes are inclusions that contain long chains of magnetite iron oxide. They are found in certain gram-negative bacteria like Magnetospirillum magnetotacticum, and these iron oxide they act as magnets. They are used by a cell as compass for orientation, to identify the for its orientation. So these bacteria, these magnetotactic bacteria, they are normally microaerophilic, that is, they require a lower level of oxygen in the atmosphere. So the bacteria use these magnetosomes to move downward to a site where there is sufficient amount of oxygen present for these microaerophiles and for a suitable attachment site. So that was all about the internal components that are present in a bacteria. Thank you.